people of the United States, 130 million of us, a great, free, dynamic nation. North, south, east, and west, more than 3 million sprawling miles between the restless oceans. This is our land, and here we thrive, the most advanced, most amazing people on the face of the globe. Melting pot of all the peoples of the earth, molded into that remarkable race, Americans. Heads high, heads low, chins up and down, banker and laborer, housewife and parlor maid, all kinds and colors of people. Most of us too preoccupied to step aside and watch ourselves on parade. But here we are, you and I, representing the greatest nation on earth. But we're always human and often funny. We, the funny people. $130 million Alices in a fabulous wonderland that we ourselves have created. We build such tall buildings that they seem to scrape the sky. At first, we look up at them in amazement. After that, most of us hurry along without ever looking up or pondering the wonder of a great city. One day, we're playing in some back lot, and then the next day, 60,000 people pay to watch us play. Expert observers broadcast our games to all the world, and when the crowd cheers, through our loudspeakers, we can hear today's history in the making, the roar of crowds or guns. Are we impressed, a little humble before such wonders in communication?
Oh, turn it off. There's nothing on the radio anymore.
We, the amazing people, living in a world of our own making, a world of delightful contrasts and contradictions.
And now, good people, there is one thought I wish to leave with you. Fried corn, French peanuts.
Perry, Perry, get your evening Perry here.
Happy birthday to yous. Happy birthday to yous. Please send me some money. Happy birthdays to you.
We, the funny people. One day we bet the shirt off our backs that something can't be done, and the next day we're taking it for granted. What kind of a world have we made for ourselves? Our civilization moves on wheels. Between the two oceans, we can roll ourselves and our goods with a speed and certainty and diminishing cost that would have astonished our grandparents and our parents. Big trucks for big goods, door to door, across the continent. Streamlined bullets of personal transportation, 25 million of them. Cars for work and cars for play. Highways for adventure, for the transportation of petticoats and pig iron. Highways for fresh vegetables and honeymooners. Everybody rides. Everybody's life is richer and fuller in the world on wheels. Enough cars to carry all of us at one time. All of us amazing, funny people. Men, women, and children, old and young, fat and thin. Banker, laborer, doctor, farmer, merchant, and housewife. Some of us lazing along, blocking traffic. Some of us in a hurry, scooting in and out, taking chances and acting silly. Sometimes we're careful and patient and friendly. Sometimes we're careless or worse. It takes all of us to make up America. We're the people, you and me, the wonderful, funny people on wheels. We laugh when our mobile civilization is called a miracle. It's too commonplace. We're used to this wonderful age of horsepower. It seems as if it's always been this way. But there was a time, not so long ago, when wheels turned more slowly. They look pretty funny to us now, but we used to dress like that, and we used to think this was big romantic stuff. The bicycle built for two was the last word in road scorchers. Pretty daring, too, if you know what I mean. Of course, sensible folk rode in buggies. We were confident that nothing could ever replace our buggies. But came a day when some mad dreamer built a carriage that ran without a horse.
Hey, fellas, come here.
We all ran out to see this mechanical freak, and when it stopped, we yelled,
Get a horse.
"Just a rich man's toy," we said.
Well, what won't they think of next? Just a lot of dumb foolishness, I call it. First a perpetual motion machine, now this.
Like as not, he'll bust his arm cranking the thing.
It'll run like blazes, almost as fast as a fella can pedal when it runs.
It's crazy and it won't work. As I always say, a fool and his money.
We said it wouldn't run, but it did. It huffed and puffed and blew out innumerable tires. It stopped frequently, but it started again. And once underway, nothing could stop it. We jeered when they quit and laughed when they ran. We said there wouldn't be roads for them, but the roads came.
It's still a rich man's toy.
Some say not for long. There's a fellow in Detroit who'll make them cheap enough so everybody can own one.
That's a good one. You and me and everybody riding around in our own automobiles.
And the marshal standing out in the street keeping us in line. That's funny.
Well, I don't care what you say. You'll never catch me in one of them crazy things. Driving down the road scaring chickens? Not me. Never.
That's what most of us said. Oh, no, not me. But suddenly there we were, driving the confounded thing. And we learned how to get out and get under like everybody else. We kept them running with pliers and bent hairpins and chased squeaks with an oil can. And Gasoline Alley became the select fraternity of tinkers. There we were, happy as larks, covered with grease, and lying to our neighbors about miles per gallon and performance. Yes, we told some whoppers about what our cars would do. And when our neighbors topped our tall stories, we began demanding cars that would do what we had said our cars would do. We're a strange, wonderful people, but we're the boss. We made demands, and ingenious minds gave us improvements. More cylinders, more performance, more miles per gallon, self-starting. Keeping pace with the motor car designers were the petroleum specialists, providing new fuels, new lubricants, food and lifeblood for the new cars. And gradually our cars became so efficient and complicated, we couldn't tinker with them anymore. A new institution came into being, and we called it a garage. We got our first taste of free service, and we liked it. We were saved a lot of time and bother, and we were grateful at first. Gasoline Alley faded. The gas tank disappeared from our backyards and appeared along the curb, and we called that a filling station. Pretty soon we forgot that we had ever patched a tire or cleaned a spark plug for ourselves. After a while, the grease gun disappeared from the toolkit. The filling station took over that job too. Then more and more of the irksome jobs we had once considered fun. Through the years, developed the especially designed service station, prepared to give more of us more of what we wanted, to treat us the way we like to be treated. And the service driveway became the crossroads of America. That word service meant many things, important things. Things we, the people, most of us took for granted. It meant opening new frontiers, battling nature for the flowing gold in the heart of fever-infested jungles, a mile, 2 miles beneath the ocean floor. It meant the development of amazing refinery processes, constantly better petroleum products at constantly lower prices. It meant the creation of many new types of petroleum products, scientifically suited to the demands of new cars. Waterproof grease for water pumps, special lubricants for high-point axles, overdrive transmissions, high-speed engines. It meant new fuels, especially designed for all kinds and ages of motors, especially designed even for variation in climate and seasons. All in all, it meant a great scientific march of progress, a new conception of service in personal transportation. Yet this service station crossroads was as close as we the people ever came to the backstage miracles of automotive progress. The man beside the pump became the ambassador of the skilled army that worked endlessly behind the scenes to give us what we wanted. Were we grateful for his services? You bet we were, at first.
Been driving pretty fast, Mr. Summers?
10 miles in 32 minutes isn't crawling.
I'll say. Got your windshield all covered with dust and bugs. Wait a second, I'll get a rag and clean that off.
Well, that's nice of him.
Yes, he's interested in my car. That's why I always stop here.
But the next time we came in,
There you are, Mr. Summers, clean as a whistle.
Yeah, but how about the back window?
Oh, yeah, sure, of course.
David.
Well, the back window gets dirty too, doesn't it?
our first taste of plus service gave us an appetite for more of everything. We were grateful when he put in an air pump. We were grateful when he installed an outside water line for our convenience. And sometimes we were careful not to leave the water running. Then we grew to expect him to fill our radiators. And he better not spill a drop on the hood either. We were grateful every time we were surprised by a new and unexpected service. After that, we took them for granted. We thought about special services only when we didn't get them. Once upon a time, we never thought of driving in winter. But it wasn't so long before we drove all winter and fumed if we had to wait a few hours for the snowdrifts to be cleared away. We're annoyed if the car won't start in the morning. We expect the serviceman, through some magic, to anticipate those things. We don't know much about antifreeze. We simply drive into the service station and expect to be fixed up. We just say,
What am I good for? 5 below, sir.
Okay.
and we gamble a new radiator, perhaps a new engine, that he's right. We've learned to have confidence in him. He knows his business. He treats us, the boss, the way we want to be treated. We accept the service and never think much about the man behind it. Just as we've taken for granted the talents and techniques which developed the fuel and lubricants that made possible our new and finer cars. Every year we expect new comfort, new safety, new stamina, new performance, new value. Of course, we get them. And we, the amazing people, accept them as our due. We may marvel at the ingenious tools of modern progress, but do we ever think of the men, the brains and spirit behind all this? Not very often. Facilities are no better than the men behind them. Just imagine the modern, up-to-date service station, fully equipped, but without its expert manpower. Here we are, full facilities, but without the spirit or leadership of professional service. All right, folks, help yourselves. This station is on the self-serve cash and carry plan. Serve yourselves and let's see how well you do it. All right, all right. Let's put our professional service back to work. But this time, let's not take these men for granted.
3 blocks straight down, and you'll be on Route 32.
Good morning, sir. I'll take your car off your mind.
Hey, are we glad to see you. Fill her up with Red Crown, and this time we'll watch what you do. Our windshield's clean. He's checking our water and oil. They're both okay, but we like the way he does it. Hello, what's this? He'll give us as much service as we'll take. He's cleaning all of the glass. Sweeping the floor. That's extra. Any good station will give you a cheerful greeting and clean your windshield and check your gas and oil, but we're getting special service here.
Thank you. Won't you come again?
Will we come again? Sure we will. And right here we've learned something. We can get the usual service almost anywhere, but when we get the usual services, plus a couple extra, we sit up and take notice. Let's look over some of the stations that bring us back again and again and see why. Many and varied are the courtesies and extra services that we find waiting for us around the next corner. All America rolls past these pumps, expecting the restrooms to be clean, the service prompt, efficient, and friendly. Whether we want to fill the tank, change the oil, buy new tires or a new battery, or simply get some information, all of us, we, the funny people, have long accepted the remarkable spirit of service that takes our cars off our minds. We take the service station around the next corner for granted. But no matter how often we come in, the successful dealer never takes us for granted. How smart would we be at sizing up people? How would this man want to be treated?
Give me 5 in a hurry.
That's easy. He just wants quick service. What about Joe Persnickety, the man who gasps every time the buttons are near his hood? Well, the smart serviceman is extra careful of Joe. He holds the hose to keep it away from the car, like this. Joe worked hard for his car, and it's going to last him a long time. Professional service is just as careful of the car as Joe himself would be. How about this? Here's a couple, obviously not in a hurry. They'll appreciate all the service they get. They want the works, and they'll come back where they get those extra services, the extra attention.
They certainly take good care of us.
And they're so nice about it. I like that smile.
This man doesn't expect to buy anything. He may want to use the restroom, the telephone, or get some information about the best place to eat. But he's a good potential customer, and he'll remember how he was treated. And look, an observing serviceman would begin by offering to check his tires. That one's down a little. Here's another. He's studying the prices. He's a price buyer, but he wants service, and extra service will make him a loyal friend. Obviously a tourist. The serviceman, who's taken trips himself, cracks the ice by asking, "How are you enjoying the trip?"
Why, fine. Say, this is mighty pretty country through here. I was just saying to Ma as we passed through, what was that last town, Ma?
He'll give a mile-by-mile description of the trip, and it'll make him happy. He's been aching to talk to somebody all day. He's like the traveling man, a regular customer who wants and deserves good service and a friendly ear for his newest story. He may want information about local business conditions, too, but take good care of him, and he won't forget you. Next time you drive into a service station, notice how quickly these men size you up and give you what you want in the way you want it, plus 2 extra services that you hadn't expected at all. It's surprising how courteously and efficiently these men take our cars off our minds. Today, the motor car sets the tempo of life, and we, the amazing people, won't take no for any answer. At the front doorstep of great cities, in the shadows of the towering skyscrapers, we have cleared space to park our cars during the business day or shopping adventure. If we can't find parking accommodations in the business district, we tear down a couple of $1 million office buildings and make room. Walk? Of course not. We drive everywhere. We have dinner served on the window ledge of our cars. We even watch the movies from our cars. And after we've taken our exercise, watching a bunch of husky young athletes in action, we go right out to our cars and sit down all the way home. Because we drive 400, 500 miles a day, we expect sumptuous hotels to bloom in the middle of the desert. We expect good roads all the way to the fishing grounds, and we expect fish, too. So the Department of Conservation stocks the lake, and we have our pictures taken looking very, very proud and maybe a little silly. Wherever we are, whatever we do, today's civilization is geared to the rolling wheels. And here we go, you and I and all of us amazing, funny people, taking it all for granted and looking for greater miracles tomorrow. And they're on the way. On the drafting tables and in the laboratories of automobile designers, new ideas and new ideals are taking form in new cars of breathtaking beauty and performance. Behind barred doors, petroleum specialists are developing new fuels and new lubricants for faster, finer performance at lower cost. On the proving grounds, both petroleum and automotive research is testing the performance of strange, exciting experimental cars that will step up the tempo of life still further. But how about us? We, the extraordinary, take-it-for-granted people. Will we appreciate these new marvels? In imagination, let's look ahead.
110. Look at that. Only 110. And it's almost wide open. I tell you, this crate is underpowered.
Radio traffic signal. Slow down to 90, curve ahead, slow down to 90.
Same old signal, same old voice. Why don't they put it to music?
All right, wise guy, you asked for it.
Slow down, mister, I said slow down, mister, or you'll break your silly neck. So don't blame us.
No, we probably won't change much. We'll still be taking it all for granted and looking ahead for greater miracles to come. But in passing, let's pay a hearty tribute to that army of men who take our cars off our minds. Vital to any community, good friends and good citizens, ready to give us all we need and a little more. A salute from we, the amazing, funny, indomitable people of the United States, to the man beside the pump, who is always there round the next corner. The smiling, able ambassador of mighty progress and friendly service in the finest American way.